Donald Trump Jr. visits Greenland amid renewed interest from his father. On January 7, 2025, Donald Trump Jr. arrived in Nuuk, the capital of Greenland, for what he described as a personal day trip. This visit comes just weeks after his father, former President Donald Trump, reiterated his interest in the United States acquiring the autonomous Danish territory, emphasizing the need for national security. The younger Trump stated that he had no official meetings planned with government officials during his trip. Trump Jr.'s arrival has sparked renewed discussions about the complicated relationship between the U.S. and Greenland, particularly in light of comments from various political leaders. Acquisit, the Prime Minister of Greenland, firmly stated, "We are not for sale," reinforcing that Greenland belongs to its people. This sentiment echoes the broader desire for autonomy and independence among Greenlanders, who enjoy significant self-governance yet remain economically reliant on subsidies from Denmark. In response to Trump Jr.'s visit, Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen reiterated that Greenland belongs to the Greenlanders and that the future of the territory should be decided by its residents. She acknowledged the necessity of maintaining a close cooperative relationship between Denmark and the U.S., given their alliance within NATO. The visit has drawn various reactions from Danish political circles. Some opposition politicians expressed outrage at what they perceived as a lack of respect for Denmark and its allies. Conservative MP Rasmus Jarlov criticized the visit on social media, describing it as an unprecedented level of disrespect. Trump Jr. utilized a private jet, affectionately known as Trump Force One, to travel to Greenland and later shared images on social media that highlighted his interactions with supporters, including those wearing Make America Great Again hats. He declared that Greenland and the free world need safety, security, strength, and peace, echoing his father's political rhetoric. Before his departure, Trump Jr. made it clear on his podcast, Triggered, that he did not intend to pursue the purchase of Greenland, despite expressing his fondness for the territory. His father's social media presence further fueled interest, as Donald Trump shared a video featuring a Greenlander advocating for the U.S. to buy the island, claiming it should be liberated from Danish colonialism. In the wake of these developments, the Danish government announced an increase in defense spending for Greenland, a move that Danish Defense Minister Troels Lund Poulsen described as ironic given the timing of Trump Jr.'s visit. Meanwhile, King Frederik X of Denmark emphasized unity in his New Year's address, mentioning the importance of the Kingdom of Denmark's connection to Greenland, while Greenland's Prime Minister highlighted the need to free the island from the shackles of colonialism. Overall, this event underscores the ongoing complexities surrounding U.S.-Greenland relations and the impact of the Trump family's continued interest in the territory, which has historical roots dating back to the 19th century. The reactions from both local and Danish officials reflect a larger discourse on colonialism, autonomy, and the geopolitical significance of Greenland, especially in the context of U.S. interests in the Arctic region. 在唐纳德·特朗普 Jr. 最近访问格陵兰期间，出现了一些引人注目的反应和评论，尤其是在他父亲重新提出希望美国能够控制这一地区的背景下。这次旅行的一个反直觉的信息是，虽然特朗普 Jr. 声称这是一趟个人短途旅行，并表示没有与政府官员会晤的安排，但他的到访实际上引发了外交层面的广泛关注和激烈反响。首先，特朗普 Jr. 的到访与他父亲的言论密切相关，后者曾表示拥有和控制格陵兰对于美国的国家安全至关重要。这一表态不仅触及了历史上美国对格陵兰的兴趣，也使得格陵兰首相穆特 埃格德重申了我们不出售的立场，强调格陵兰是属于格陵兰人民的。这一反应本身并不令人意外，但与特朗普 Jr. 的所谓个人旅游形成了鲜明对比，凸显了他此行的政治潜在意图。其次，丹麦首相梅特·弗雷德里克森的回应也显得格外重要。他重申格陵兰的未来由当地居民决定，强调了丹麦与美国之间的紧密合作关系。这一表态不仅是对特朗普家族言论的直接反击，也显示了格陵兰在国际关系中的独立性和自我决策权。尽管格陵兰经济依赖于来自哥本哈根的补贴，但格陵兰人民的自主权和独立意愿在这一背景下显得尤为重要。第三，特朗普 Jr. 在社交媒体上的活动引起了不同政界人士的强烈反应。他在发布的照片中与支持者合影，并发表了让格陵兰再次伟大的言论。这种言辞不仅反映了其父亲的政治口号，也暗示了对格陵兰未来的某种控制欲望。这一行为引发了丹麦政界的愤怒，部分反对派政治家认为这是对丹麦及其盟友的不尊重，进一步加深了美丹关系的紧张。此外，特朗普 Jr. 访问格陵兰后，丹麦政府宣布将大幅提高对格陵兰的国防支出，这一时机被丹麦国防部长称为命运的讽刺。这一政策转变不仅是对特朗普言论的直接回应，也可能是为了进一步巩固丹麦在北极地区的战略地位。反直觉的是，尽管特朗普 Jr. 的访问在一定程度上引发了外交争议，但他也促使丹麦采取了更为积极的防御措施，显示出在国际政治中，舆论和行动可以互为影响。最后，特朗普 Jr. 在播客中明确表示，他并不打算购买格陵兰，但同时也表达了对这个地方的喜爱。这一表态虽然看似是对外界担忧的缓和，却也无意中反映了特朗普家族对格陵兰的持续关注。特朗普家族与格陵兰的关系复杂而微妙，历史上美国曾多次表达购买格陵兰的意愿，这种历史延续至今，使得特朗普 Jr. 的访问显得更加耐人寻味。整体而言，特朗普 Jr. 的格陵兰之行不仅是一次个人旅行，更是一个引发多方反应的政治事件。围绕这一事件的讨论揭示了国际关系中权力、尊重和自我决策的重要性，同时也反映出在全球化背景下，国家间的互动比以往任何时候都更加复杂和微妙。
In the recent visit of Donald Trump Jr. to Greenland, several important aspects of the event have emerged that may be easily overlooked but hold significant implications for both international relations and regional autonomy. One notable point that stands out is the immediate context of Trump Jr.'s visit following his father's renewed assertions about U.S. ownership of Greenland. The timing of this visit is crucial as it comes shortly after Donald Trump expressed that ownership and control of Greenland is an absolute necessity for U.S. national security. This reflects a continuation of a narrative that has historical roots dating back to previous U.S. administrations yet carries a weight that resonates through the current geopolitical landscape. The response from Greenland's leadership, particularly Prime Minister Buttigieg, is also significant. His firm statement that "we are not for sale" encapsulates a growing sentiment among Greenlanders regarding their autonomy and self-determination. This is not merely a political stance but a reflection of a deeper historical context where Greenland has sought to assert its identity and independence from colonial legacies. The insistence that Greenland belongs to its people is a powerful reminder of the ongoing struggles against colonialism that many indigenous populations face today. Additionally, the responses from Danish officials, including Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen's affirmation that only the local population can determine their future, underscore the complicated web of relationships between Denmark, Greenland, and the United States. The Danish Prime Minister's emphasis on cooperation with the U.S. amid this controversy highlights the delicate balance Denmark must maintain between honoring Greenland's autonomy and upholding its own strategic alliances. This dynamic is particularly relevant given the increased military focus on Greenland's defense by Denmark, which was announced shortly after Trump Jr.'s arrival. Furthermore, the significance of Trump Jr.'s social media activity during the trip, including statements about making Greenland great again and his interactions with supporters, should not be underestimated. His use of a slogan that echoes his father's presidential campaign attempts to frame the narrative around Greenland in a way that aligns with nationalist and populist sentiments. This could have implications for how similar sentiments are expressed in other geopolitical contexts, particularly in regions where national identity is intertwined with territorial integrity. The media coverage surrounding the visit also reveals underlying tensions within Danish politics, as some opposition politicians criticized what they perceived as a lack of respect for Denmark's long-standing alliance with the US. This internal discord could lead to significant discussions around foreign policy and national identity in Denmark, potentially influencing future public sentiment towards both the US and Greenland's autonomy. Moreover, the historical context of US interest in Greenland cannot be overlooked. The idea of purchasing Greenland has been floated in various forms since the 1860s, but recent geopolitical tensions, particularly regarding military presence and strategic resources, have renewed this conversation. Greenland's geographic position makes it a focal point for Arctic strategy, especially as climate change opens new shipping routes and access to natural resources. This aspect of the narrative may be overlooked but is crucial for understanding the broader implications of such visits and statements. Lastly, the mention of a video featuring a Greenlander encouraging Trump to buy Greenland further complicates the narrative. While it may seem like a simple anecdote, it reflects the diverse perspectives within Greenland itself, showcasing that not all voices align with the political leadership's stance. This diversity of opinion can significantly impact future discussions about independence and autonomy, as well as how Greenland navigates its relationships with both Denmark and the US. In summary, while much of the coverage has focused on the immediate implications of Trump Jr.'s visit, the deeper significance lies in the historical, political, and social contexts that shape the narrative around Greenland's autonomy and its complex relationships with both Denmark and the United States. The interplay of these factors is critical for comprehending the evolving landscape of international relations in the Arctic and beyond. 1. Historical context and significance of Greenland's status. The recent visit of Donald Trump Jr. to Greenland is steeped in historical precedent, as U.S. interest in acquiring Greenland dates back to the 1860s when President Andrew Johnson proposed the purchase. This historical context is crucial for understanding the current geopolitical dynamics and how they reflect America's long-standing strategic interests in the Arctic region. The significance of Greenland lies not only in its vast natural resources but also in its strategic location, which is pivotal for military and economic positioning between North America and Europe. 2. Local perspectives on autonomy and colonialism. The responses from Greenlandic leaders, particularly Prime Minister Mette Gide and Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen, highlight the complexity of Greenland's political status. Their insistence that Greenland is not for sale reflects a strong sense of national identity and a desire for autonomy amidst historical colonial influences. The visit has sparked discussions about colonial legacy, self-determination, and the future of Greenland as it seeks to navigate its relationship with Denmark and the United States. This highlights the need for a deeper examination of how external interests can impact local governance and identity. 3. Implications for US-Denmark relations. The visit has also generated varied reactions within Danish politics, with some viewing it as a breach of diplomatic decorum. The Danish government's decision to increase defense spending in Greenland following Trump's remarks underscores the strategic importance of the territory in NATO relations and broader US-Danish cooperation. This situation invites further analysis of how such visits and statements influence bilateral relations, especially in the context of security, defense, and international diplomacy in the Arctic region. For media representation and public perception, the portrayal of Donald Trump Jr.'s trip in various media outlets alongside his social media activity illustrates the role of public perception in shaping political narratives. His comments about making Greenland great again and the mixed reactions to them reveal how media framing can affect public discourse around national identity, foreign policy, and political legitimacy. Analyzing the media's role in this context can provide insights into how political figures navigate complex international issues and the ways in which their actions resonate with domestic and global audiences. 1. The purchase of Alaska 1867. The acquisition of Alaska from Russia is one of the most notable historical instances of a territory purchase by the United States. Secretary of State William H. Seward negotiated the purchase for $7.2 million, which was initially mocked as Seward's folly. The purchase was completed despite skepticism, and Alaska has since proven to be a resource-rich state contributing significantly to the U.S. economy. 2. The U.S. annexation of Hawaii 1898. The annexation of Hawaii involved complex political maneuvers and was driven by American economic interests and strategic military considerations. After a coup led by American plantation owners overthrew the Hawaiian monarchy, the U.S. formally annexed Hawaii, which later became the 50th state. This event highlights the U.S.'s historical interest in expanding its territories for strategic and economic reasons. 3. The Louisiana Purchase 1803. The Louisiana Purchase is one of the largest land acquisitions in history, where the U.S. bought approximately 828,000 square miles from France for $15 million. This acquisition doubled the size of the United States and was instrumental in its westward expansion. Thomas Jefferson, who was president at the time, faced criticism for the deal, but it ultimately became a pivotal moment in American history, showcasing the country's ambition to expand its territory. The recent visit of Donald Trump Jr. to Greenland has ignited discussions surrounding U.S. interests in the territory and the implications for international relations. Given the complexity of geopolitical dynamics and the evolving political landscape, several predictions can be made about the future outlook regarding Greenland and U.S.-Danish relations. 1. Increased U.S. interest in Arctic regions. The Arctic is becoming a focal point for global powers due to climate change, which has opened new shipping routes and access to untapped resources. The U.S. is likely to increase its military presence and investment in the region, viewing Greenland as a strategic asset. Trump's interest in Greenland may reflect a broader trend of U.S. engagement in Arctic affairs, which could lead to enhanced cooperation with local governments and indigenous populations. 2. Strengthening Greenlandic autonomy. In response to external pressures, including those stemming from U.S. interests, Greenland is likely to accelerate its push for greater autonomy and possibly independence from Denmark. The recent statements by Greenland's leaders emphasizing their right to self-determination will likely resonate with local populations, leading to increased political movements advocating for independence. 3. Danish defense policy adjustments. In light of renewed American interest in Greenland, Denmark is expected to reassess its defense policies and budget allocations for the territory. The Danish government may bolster its military capabilities in Greenland to counter any perceived threats from U.S. ambitions. This could also manifest in increased collaboration with NATO allies to ensure regional security. 4. A public sentiment and national identity. The sentiments expressed by Greenland's Prime Minister and the local population against the notion of selling the territory will likely galvanize national identity and pride. A movement to reclaim and assert Greenlandic culture, history, and governance will likely gain momentum, influencing both domestic policy and international relations. 5. U.S.-Danish relations in flux. While Denmark remains a close ally of the U.S., the friction created by Trump's comments and his son's visit may strain relations. The Danish government will likely emphasize its commitment to cooperation while firmly rejecting any notions of territorial sale. This balancing act will be crucial in maintaining a positive bilateral relationship. 6. Geopolitical tensions with Russia and China. As Arctic territories become increasingly contested, U.S. interests in Greenland may provoke reactions from other powers, particularly Russia and China, who are also looking to expand their influence in the region. Increased military activity or investment by these countries could lead to heightened tensions, prompting the US and its allies to respond with similar measures. 7. Tourism and economic development in Greenland. The spotlight on Greenland from the Trump family may inadvertently boost its profile as a tourist destination. As interest grows, Greenland could see an increase in tourism, which may provide economic opportunities. However, this could also lead to challenges in managing sustainable development and preserving the environment and local culture. 8. Media and political landscape in the U.S. Trump Jr.'s visit and the related media coverage will likely play a role in shaping the narrative in U.S. politics. As the 2024 election approaches, discussions about national security and U.S. interests abroad will be pivotal. This could lead to divisions within the Republican Party regarding foreign policy, especially in relation to alliances and territorial claims. Conclusion. The visit of Donald Trump Jr. to Greenland has set the stage for a range of future developments concerning U.S. interests in the Arctic, Greenlandic autonomy, and international relations. As the geopolitical landscape evolves, the dynamics between the U.S., Denmark, and Greenland will be crucial in shaping the future of this strategically important region. The interplay of local sentiments, national identities, and international politics will define the narrative in the coming years, driving both opportunities and challenges for all parties involved.